Good evening, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of you. Thank you for joining us today for our session Inside the Recruiter's Mind featuring Brigadier B G Jagadeesh. I'm Claire Jose and I'm a student of Christ University, Bangalore. It is my privilege and pleasure to introduce today's distinguished speaker. Brigadier B G Jagadeesh was commissioned into the Indian Army in 1985. He is an alumnus of Bangalore Military School and went on to complete his Bachelor of Science from Christ College before joining the Army. His illustrious military career spans over 35 years, during which he served in several critical operations including Operation Rakshak, Operation Vijay and Operation Parakram. In addition to his operational responsibilities, Brigadier Jagadeesh pursued extensive academic and technical training. He completed his B.Tech, M.Tech and 2 diplomas in automobile engineering while in service. He has also specialized in heavy artillery systems, including the Bofors, and played a significant role in the indigenous development of artillery system under the Make in India initiative. A passionate sportsman, he is trained in hang gliding and has actively participated in sports such as rowing, hockey, basketball, handball, and volleyball. In recognition of his exceptional service and contributions, he has been awarded twice by the Army Commander. After an outstanding career in uniform, his commitment to the nation and the tricolor remains strong. He continues to dedicate himself to motivating young minds, fostering discipline, and contributing to nation building. Currently, he serves as a professor of practice at Christ University and is the director of the Center of Placements, Career Guidance, and Alumni Engagement. With this, I am honored to invite Brigadier B G Jagadeesh to take over the session. Sir, the floor is yours.
Good evening to one and all of you. Thank you, Ms. Claire Jose. I thank Father Joseph P. George, the director of the program, Dr. Ashok Emmanuel, and Ms. Veronica, who have invited me for this webinar. So as Claire brought out, I am an alumnus of Christ. I was here from 1980 to 83. I did my BSc program here, after which I joined the Indian Army. I was there for almost 35 to 36 years in the Indian Army. And after my retirement, I came here back to my alma mater. And now I'm the director for placements and career guidance and also for alumni engagement. So this session is very, very important, and thank you all for being online for this session, because today you want to know what is in the recruiter's mind. Your preparation should not go waste, or you should not be preparing in the wrong direction when you face an interview or when you're looking for job opportunities. So that's why if you understand what they're looking for, the recruiters are looking for, what are the trends today, then you will be much better prepared and you will surely have an edge. Why does this session matter? Because the job market is crowded, there is a lot of competition. You know that India is the highest populated country in the world. So there are a lot of higher education institutions churning out a lot of graduates. But then if you want to have an edge, what do you need to know, what you need to do, that is what is important. Because every single post, there will be around 400 to 1,000 applicants. The recruiters have this kind of problems, or you can say this kind of pressures, where for each post they have to scrutinize at least 400 to 1,000 applicants. They have to go through the resumes. Suppose they won't have more than 30 seconds for that. So what are they looking at, and what are they actually, how are they doing it? So that is very important. So once you start getting to know what is important, like when I was in the army, especially after I became a full colonel, you get a lot of opportunities to be part of a lot of boards, a lot of selection panels. So you get an idea, okay, when the students face interview or the candidates face interview, you will very quickly find out, okay, do they have the substance or not? Do they know the subject or not? Are they, the attitude, how is their attitude? So these are all very important things. So I think you can, this is what I was trying to say, that if you know what is there in the recruiter's mind, what to expect from them, how you can tell your stories well, that is going to matter a lot. So recruiters, they don't reject people. Processes do. What I meant by that is competition is very large. So there will be a lot number of applicants. So what do? They use filters. They'll say, okay, only 65% or 75% and above can apply. So anybody below that percentage gets filtered out. So it's always advisable, it's always good to keep your grades as high as possible. Nowadays, when these big companies come and when students are having some backlogs, they don't permit students with backlogs to appear. So what happens is bright students, but they may be having a backlog due to some reason, one more backlog, and they won't be able to sit for a lot of placement drives or interviews just because of this backlog. So that becomes another filter. So these are the things one has to be aware of before you start applying for jobs. When you're in the final year or before you start applying for jobs, you should be clear that your percentages should be as high as possible, as well as avoid backlogs, and make your resumes as per the job description. Now, if you see who is a recruiter, it could be for corporate HRs. Sometimes what happens is these big companies, they have their own HR teams, or they hire some external agencies to do the hiring for them. So, but they use the same principles for hiring, and they have got lot of strict timelines. They have to ensure that their hires are, the retention is there in the companies, and they've got the best hire. And after they hire, there may be technical rounds in which technical people will be coming to interview. They will be for hiring for, campus recruiters are looking for freshers, fresh hirers, and also there are recruitment consultants who come and do the recruitment for big companies. So what are they looking for? They are not looking for the brightest student. They are looking for the least risky and most suitable candidate, and they want to do it very, very quickly. I was talking to one of the HRs from one of the big firms. He was telling me, we look for three things in any candidate. First, we look for knowledge. How do you find out what knowledge? Suppose you ask, what is the capital of India? You know it is Delhi. So these kind of questions will come. If you know the answer, you have that knowledge. If you don't know the answer, you don't have that knowledge. So it's very easy for them to check your knowledge. So those will be very simple questions. Then they will come to your skills. You've got your resumes, you've said that you know how to do Power Excel or Power BI or Advanced Excel, you have knowledge on that. They will check it through their questions. If your resume and what you speak on ground is not consistent, that is a red flag. So be very careful. Whatever you put on your resume should be honest, should be truthful. So ensure that, so they check for knowledge, they check for skills. They'll throw a number of questions to check whether you're skilled. What is skill? Skill is nothing but the bridge between knowledge and your application. And then finally, most of the time the recruiters spend is to check your attitude. And what are they checking in your attitude? Whether you're trainable, whether you have emotional resilience, whether you're adaptable, or whether you keep complaining on everything. So this is the attitude. And if you have a good attitude, even if you're an average student, you're their pick. Because they want the least risky option, they want retention. That's what they're looking at. So ensure that your attitude and discipline is what you have to concentrate on. The recruiter's funnel. Application received, as they get the applications, first thing they do is they start screening them. Now I told you about the applicant tracker system, that is the ATS. It is a software which the companies use to read the resumes. Once the job description is put, there are keywords in the job description which the computer recognizes and sees whether that is there in the resume. It will start looking for your internships, it will start looking for projects which you have quoted, it will start looking for skills. So it is all set there. If it meets those requirements, it will accept the resume. If it doesn't see those requirements in your resume, it will reject it. So that is, so whenever you start learning how to make a resume, it should become ATS compliant. You should learn how to make resumes which are compliant through the applicant tracking system based on the job description of that company. So that's very important. Based on that, they do the shortlisting. Nowadays, most of the companies are doing shortlisting by having a initial aptitude and logical reasoning test or an IQ test which they throw, many big companies. And based on that, they do the shortlisting, and they also look for grades. If there are a large number of applicants, they even see your 10th, 12th and the degree grades you have, and for any backlogs, they all those check that, and then they do the shortlisting. And once they come into the campus, if it is a campus placements, they expect all the shortlisted candidates to come for the pre-placement talk. Pre-placement talk is very, very important because in that pre-placement talk, they will be speaking about the culture of the company. They will be telling about how you should fit into the company, what are the roles you can expect. Then tell you what is your package, your location, how your role will look like. As a fresher, what is the culture of the company, whether they encourage growth, and everything will be told in the pre-placement talk. And you will find a lot of interviewers asking certain questions from the pre-placement talk. So if you are attentive, if you have made your notes there, your chances of getting recruited is much higher. So always attend the pre-placement talk. Some of the pre-placement talk may be virtual also in nature. So you can attend that, understand that, make your notes. Recently there was one company from Canada which came here. Even I attended the pre-placement talk. They spoke about the entire culture of the company, where all the companies are there. It's a global company. And they also included, work-life balance, fun as one of their priorities. So these things are catchy. So you should see those words, and then when you face interviews, you should talk about those things. So your chances of getting shortlisted or selected will be much higher. So go through those interviewing rounds, and then based on how much they are looking for, if they are looking for a number of candidates, and if you have done well, even they will increase the numbers than what they were actually planned to do so. Now, how does the recruiters read your resumes? They are not interested in flashy templates or long objectives. They are interested in short resumes, nicely formatted. These days, even the photographs are not included in resumes, except for those programs where they are interested for media studies, or maybe some programs where they want to see how the candidates look. Otherwise, generally the photographs are also not included. They are seeing your specific projects, specific internship, specific leadership roles. What have you done other than your basic degrees or basic things? What micro credentials have you got? What add-on skills have you achieved? All these things can be put into the resume, which has got a lot of value. Instead of writing long, irrelevant certificates, they are not interested in all those things. So these are the ones they ignore, and this is what they check. Now, what are the recruiters really looking for? They are looking for trainability. This is a very, very important aspect you have to start working on. What is trainability? You need not be the best candidate, but are you open to be trained? Like, whenever, are you having an open mind, or are you fixed mind? Are you complaining about everything, or are you saying that, okay, if you have made a mistake, let me take this mistake as a step for success or step for learning. So let me just learn from these mistakes and go about improving and fulfilling the task. That's what they're looking at. And They're looking for good communication skills. Naturally, today, if you're a client-facing job you have to have good communication skills. So, both just not the spoken communication, you have to have good written communication. You should be able to understand languages which others speak, good listening skills, good comprehending skills. And then, so communication skills is one thing, it is a life skill. Work on it. You can improve communications very well. Start improving your communication skills. That is a core attribute and the core skill which they will expect you to have good communication skills. So this is one thing. Attitude. Attitude is everything actually. I told you earlier also, 50% of the time the recruiters are looking for a positive attitude. So they are finding very difficult for finding students who are showing up on time for work, who are honest, who are reliable, and who are retained in the company. That's why they're throwing a lot of perks so that people are retained in the company. But if you're disciplined and if you have a positive attitude, sometimes they throw questions which you will not know. You should not give some random answers, or you should not try to uh, answer every question which even you don't know. They're okay with questions which you don't know. If it is, everyone can't know everything. But if they find that you have an attitude to learn and ask questions and learn from that, that is what they're looking for. So, what recruiter you see, what are the companies asking these recruiters to do? They have to come to a campus. They have to, the speed of closure is very important. How fast can they, because they come for just one day, they can't afford to be here for 2-3 days. Even we can't give them that kind of slots in the campuses. So they are there for a day. In that one day, they have to do the entire hiring. So they have to ensure that they have to complete the hiring process. They have to ensure that the quality of hire is good, and they have to ensure that the ones who are hired are retained in the company. So they are not looking for, during the questions they find out, like if they find that you are doing additional qualifications, they know that once you finish that qualification, you may leave the company. So they are very careful on all those things. And the hiring manager, whoever has sent them here, they have to satisfy them also. So they are not selecting the best students always, they are selecting the least risky option. I hope you understood this point very clearly. They are hiring the least risky option. That means they want people who are reliable, who are disciplined, and who have a positive attitude. So you need not be the brightest of the students. When we see hires here, now almost many people have already been placed for the 2026 pass out batch. Most of the students who are placed, we check what they what questions they faced in the interviews and what they answered. Most of them are those ones who have a very positive attitude, who are resilient, and who are adaptable. So these are the ones they are looking for. What are the common reasons for rejection? Poor communication. And then, see, I'll tell you a story about a person with two resumes. There was a role, there were more than 400 applicants there. Because these days, for every single role, you find more than sometimes 600,000 applicants. It depends on the type of role and the type of location and salary they're providing. So, the higher the package, the better the role, the more applicants will be there. So, they have to shortlist. So, finally, they'll come down to some resumes. Finally, for one role, they selected two resumes. One resume had everything in it: certificate from a very good college, good grades, and everything it had. But it showed it was generic. The second resume had average marks. There was an online degree, it was not a regular degree also. And but the resume clearly mentioned the skill that person had, a small project he had done, he had explained that project in detail. Then he had something like a short line as to why this online degree he did, because he had some family problems or some responsibilities which he had to work as well, and at the same time do degrees. That showed responsibility that he had. So, whom did they select? Obviously, they selected the second one because they found that second one was the less risky option they had. The bright student, they was scared that maybe whether we'll be retaining them or not, him or not. So they selected the second one. So what are you looking for? You're looking for ensuring that you clearly mention specific projects you have done, specific internships you have done, specific leadership roles you have done in your life, and be honest about it. Because this will be asked in the interviews, and there should be consistency whenever you're putting your resume and what you're speaking on ground. They're looking for consistency. That's very, very important. So, and you can't be, role clarity is very important. So, if you see what happens is sometimes you're confused. You don't know, you will apply for some role, then you'll change your mind, you'll apply for another role. You're not sure. So, if you have role clarity, then you can prepare for that particular role. You can understand what skills are required for that role, and then you will have much, much better chances of getting selected. And you can't be having a casual attitude. Casual attitude doesn't mean that you come casually dressed or something. It is not taking responsibility is casual attitude. That means you're not meeting deadlines, you're not being punctual to the place you have to be, and you're always blaming either the team member or so you have casualness in your, the professionalism is not seen. They generally don't select such people. Okay? And if you're applying blindly just by seeing the package and without understanding the role, you're applying blindly, and when you come for your interview, when they start asking you about the role and you don't have clarity, you're likely to be rejected. But if you are prepared, preparation is nothing but giving respect silently. Remember this. So, if you're giving respect to anybody silently, preparing and coming for any interview, that is clearly shown. First, they see your turnout, they see everything what the recruiters see. The way you speak, the way you sit, everything is important. So, the more prepared you are, the better chances of getting hired. So, what are the skills that give you an edge? So, if you see, like say Christ University has got its vision of excellence in service, it's got a mission of making an individual an holistic development, giving him an holistic development, all-round development to be pursuing excellence as well as contributing to the society. That is the mission of the university. And we have core values like moral uprightness, pursuits of excellence, faith in God, and all those things. And we have something known as graduate attributes. We have graduate attributes in the academic sphere, personal, interpersonal, which shows communication skills, leadership skills, societal skills. Empathy is one of the attributes we are looking at. We are looking at adaptability, problem solving skills, critical thinking. All these are attributes which we are trying to give it to the students who are passing out from this great organization. So, if you are conscious of these attributes, to imbibe these attributes, and then you have achieved your aim, you are surely going to get some job or the other as soon as possible, because these are the attributes people are coming here for. So, these are the places where you have edge. Secondly, as I told you earlier, communication skills is very important, both spoken and written. Work on it, and if you have to improve your language, please do that. Basic digital skills are very important because that is expected of every candidate. Today, without digital skills, nothing is going to work. It's an AI world. They are not asking you to design some AI platforms. Companies are investing large amounts in making their work easier through AI. So, all that you need to do is you should be able to use those AI tools well. So, what are they looking for? Digital fluency. How you can use that AI tools well. How can you write a very good email using AI? How can you make presentations better and faster by using AI? These are the things they're looking at. But after using AI, you have to give the context to it. You can't just put that AI output directly onto the platform there and tell them this is the output. You have to give a context to it, and whatever you're putting across, you have to be responsible for it. AI is just an assistance for you, like how we started using calculator earlier in life instead of manually adding it. But the responsibility of the figures is yours. Similarly, AI is just a tool. It's going to help you do your work faster, quicker, more efficiently. So the digital fluency is a must. So improve on your digital skills. Learn how to use Excel. Go in for advanced Excel, Power BI, all these things. If you're into designing, go in for Canva. So all those type of skills, once you're having extra, that will give you an edge. Problem solving mindset. See, problem solving mindset is that you can't be solving every problem that comes in your way. Any problem is there, first you, instead of reacting, give it time to understand what this problem is. Can you break this problem into small parts? Can you address those small parts separately and come with a solution? Sometimes the solution may not be workable, but then don't give up and say and wait for instructions. There is a problem at hand, analyze it, break it into small parts, come for a solution, try it. Many times it will work, or you will learn from it. The second time you will succeed. That's how you will do, and that will give you an edge. So now certain skills, there are many programs. Some are, we have started this online programs recently where we have BCom, BA and master's program. You can understand what program you're doing, what kind of roles you're interested to do in life, and then go for those exact type of skill sets which are required. For example, for arts and commerce, you can, as I was telling you, go for Excel, advanced Excel, then you can go for Power BI, data basics, business understanding. Tally is another things which the BCom students do. They understand that things. For tech, for MCA, you can go for problem solving, you can go for some strong languages. See, any type of skills you are master, you are likely to be picked up. And you can do a lot of real projects. In fact, these days, a lot of students are also simultaneously doing a lot of gigs, and they're earning money as well as they're gaining experience because they are freelancers for many projects they're doing. So if they have the skill set, there is a lot of job in the market. So go in for those kind of skills. And for online learners, application of learning, discipline and proof of work, like you have to have all these things. You're doing an online degree for a certain reason of yours. You're doing a dual degree, or sometimes you're doing degree and working. So you have to ensure that your projects, your internships, your this ones, the skill sets which you're looking at to further upskill is aligning with what roles you're looking in future. So if you do that, you have a clear edge and you have a clear chance of getting selected, because that's what people are looking for. Now coming to artificial intelligence and future jobs, as I said, artificial intelligence is not taking away your jobs. People without the knowledge to use AI are being replaced with people who have the knowledge of using AI. That's what is happening. As I told you earlier also, AI is nothing but a tool to help you do your job more efficiently, faster and better. So if you have the digital fluency, if you know how to use AI effectively and ethically, then that's, you have achieved your task. People are looking for such people. So AI is changing tasks, not eliminating all jobs. So you have to adapt. You have to see, okay, what are the jobs which are being done by AI. So you have to upscale yourself and use those tools to do those jobs faster and present it in the form the companies or the organizations want. That analyzing skill AI doesn't have. That will only give you a fast track method of either coding or anything that will do for you. But then putting context to it and then bringing it into the way they want it presented, that is your job. Then productivity expectations are rising. So people want, now we are an academic institution, we have academic knowledge. People in the industry want job ready students. So that's why they're coming here for conversations and they're asking for longer internships. Internships makes you job ready because you go and understand the work the company does. You're doing live projects with the company. So the longer the internships are, the better job ready you are. And it is very profitable for them for you to take you as interns during your final years and give you a lesser package when you're interns. And the ones who are adaptable, who are doing a good job, they convert them into PPOs. So look for internships, look for those skills, and then your value is added and you have much better chances of getting recruited and getting converted into a PPO. So as I said, recruiters value AI aware candidates because all the big companies are now, they have no option but to invest in big AI platforms, otherwise they will be left behind. So they are looking for AI aware candidates. So how do you adapt to the AI era? Learn to work with AI tools, strengthen critical thinking. So what I said, why this critical thinking is? Because AI will produce an output. Now you have to think critically and use this knowledge to present it in the best form the company wants or the task which task at hand needs. So critical thinking is very important in this, because what AI produces will be based on the data it is collected and the analyzing it does. But then specific thinking, critical thinking, decision making is your ability, so that's where they look at. So improve your decision making skills, improve your critical thinking, improve the focus on human skills. Human skills cannot be replaced by AI. So core skills, discipline. Discipline, I'm telling you, now being an army man, I can talk a little bit of discipline. To get disciplined, it takes time. You can't, suddenly start getting up early in the morning and start doing something which you have not been doing for a long time. It takes effort. And you have to do it consistently, at least they say at least for 21 days to a month. You have to repeat it with lot of intention. Only then that habit will be formed. There is a pain in discipline. But let me tell you, the pain of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. I'll repeat this. The pain of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. So, if you're disciplined, you can use discipline in all parts of your life, in all spheres. You want to remain healthy, if you're disciplined, you'll be very disciplined in your eating habits, in your exercises, in your way of you think, and you'll not have tension because you would have completed your task on time. And this is what recruiters will look for. If they find that you're a disciplined person, if you're turning up on time, if you're punctual, if you do, if you're concentrating on small things, then they'll know that this person is also capable of taking big things responsibly. So discipline is again a very important human skill to develop. Building the right attitude is very important. Ownership of career. Taking responsibility is what they'll look for. Whenever they have interviews, they will see whether this person is trying to shed responsibility or take responsibility. A good leader takes responsibility. If you are a leader of the team, if something goes wrong, you have to take responsibility for that. But if something goes right, if you are praised, then give those credit to your team members. That is the sign of a good leader. So when the questions come in this way, whom will you give credit to when if this happens in a team? You always try to tell that you give credit to your team members and don't take credit yourself. But when it comes to some problems, take responsibility. You're the leader. It's because of you it has happened, take responsibility. So that is the thing. Willingness to learn, keeping an open mind. Keeping an open mind is you're ready to go out of your comfort zones, ready to learn new skills, ready to become adaptable. In our own time, just around 6 years back, we all faced this COVID. Okay. The companies, the organizations which were adaptable, they really did well. Many companies went down the drain because they were not adaptable. They couldn't sustain. But the ones who were adaptable, they changed to digital platforms, they changed to working from home. So many new concepts came up. They adapted to the situation and they did well. So, adaptable skills are very, very important, and willingness to learn, keeping an open mind is very important. So, respect for time and people. Punctuality is respecting time, and respecting people is give a good hearing before you respond and put yourself in the other person's shoes. That is empathy. If you have that attribute of empathy, then you will listen to your team members, you will form a very good team, you will have a motivated team, and your results will be really good. So, these are the attributes one has to develop, and you should be open to feedback. Many times, what will happen is what they expect, you will be thinking of something else. So, they will give you a feedback, ki, we didn't want it this way. So, you should not take it negatively. You should take feedback always as a learning step. So, take positive feedback, correct it, go back with the solution. And when you do that, you will be able to, like, people will see trust in you. Because what is trust? Trust is nothing but consistency of producing results. Over a period of time, you are producing good results, or you are giving good feedback, you are being disciplined. That is trust. So, developing trust in an organization, developing trust in things is very important. So, these are the attributes. Once you start doing it, you will be able to succeed. Discipline, I spoke about it, and it is the invisible advantage. Consistent routines you have to develop, and you have to, like people now here, people who join NCC, they don't care about how they look. They have their crew cuts, they come here on time. Like when all others are coolly dressed, they are in those uniforms marching here up and down. They don't care about it. What are they developing? They are developing attributes of discipline. They are developing, they are showing respect to certain rules, regulations. So, if you are disciplined, what you will do? You will become asset to, firstly, your organizations, to the nation as such. My passion is nation building. Become assets to the nation. Swachh Bharat is one of them. Another one is like the rules of the law, rules of the land. Ensure that you follow the rules of the land. You can't be throwing littering things around, or you can't be wasting national resources. If you're wasting water, if you're wasting food, if you're wasting electricity, that is national resource. You are not an asset. When you say Jai Hind, what does it mean? It means victory to the nation, victory to India, which means that you are a good citizen, you are capable of being disciplined, you are capable of following the rules of the land, and you are a service giver, not service seeker. That means you have got those life skills. You can, you know, first aid, you know, you are bold, you know, driving, you know, swimming, you are an asset. There are a lot of service seekers. You should be the service givers as youth. So, become assets to the nation. So, daily skill practice, you should take hold of. I was talking about attributes which our graduate attributes have. Take one, adaptability, for example. If you want to use a chat GPT, or you want to use any other AI tool to see how to develop this, go ahead. Give your role, give your what you're doing and what roles you want to do. How can I develop the attribute of adaptability or resilience? It will give you many strategies. Start looking what is feasible, how you can go about it. Develop those attributes, and you will find within a week or 10 days, you would have developed that attribute and you will have an edge over others. Meeting deadlines is very important. If you can't meet those deadlines, you have to give a feedback to the person who has given you the task. You have to tell that due to this constraint, I will not be able to meet the deadlines, and I may be given extra time or whatever it is. But it should be reasonable, and but otherwise, meeting deadlines, you just can't take it casually that okay, they've asked us to give that or don't reply to the email. These are all not being professional. A lot of people think that people don't notice, but over a period of time, your faith in you will reduce, your credibility will reduce. So meeting deadlines is very, very important. Those kind of attributes you have to develop. And of course, professional conduct is very important. You have to separate your personal emotions from your professional life. You have to see what the professional role demands of you. You have to be ethical. You have to be highly professional. That is what is respected, and that's what the country needs. That's what the organization needs. Now, how do you start developing and how do you start preparing? Like, there was one student who came to me. Many students come to me every day and ask me, sir, we have faced more than 15 interviews now. We are getting rejected. So then I asked them, okay, what did the interviewer ask and what? So, sir, we were not clear about the role we wanted. We were just talking about either I can go into finance or I can go into consultancy or HR. So I said, that is what is the problem. First, be very, very clear about the role you want to get into. If it is finance, if it is HR, you want to consultancy, whatever role you have, or if it is any other subject, content writing, whatever it is, be very clear about the role first. Give it time, prepare for it. You will definitely know what are the skills needed for that role. Go in for those skills, go in for those micro credentials. And then once you start preparing, we saw a person had faced more than 10 interviews. And then after this intervention, after that role clarity came, in the next 4 interviews, in the 5th interviews, firstly he started improving the rounds. Like he never got rejected in the first round. He always used to go to the group discussion round or the interviewing round and sometimes get rejected in the last round due to certain things. But over a period of time, after 4th interview, he got selected in a better form than what he had earlier applied for. So what I'm saying is, nothing is impossible. All that you need is little bit of preparation, little bit of focus, and little bit of, the more time you give any subject, the better you will be. When I joined Christ College here, I came from a military school background. I already had in mind that I am joining the Indian Army. My dad was in the Second World War. My elder brother is from the parachute regiment. So my mind was very clear that I am going to join the Indian Army. So when I was here doing my degree, I was focusing on the attributes what the army needs. I was into physicals. I was representing the college in university sports. I used to go and visit the army units every evening, play hockey with them, understand the culture. So when it came to the interview, I had a clear edge over others and I got selected. It is not that I was a very bright student. I was an average student. But definitely I had focus. So what I'm saying is, if you have clarity, if you have role clarity, what you want to do in life, you have time to prepare the skill sets needed for that role. Then you will develop that attitude for that role and you will be able to get selected. See, what all you need to align. You should be good at something, right? Most of us are good at something. How do you find out? You take a psychometric test these days, you will get informed choices. It will tell you what are the areas you're good at or what are your areas you're inclined, your interests are. So if you work in those areas which you're good at and if you're interested in, you'll naturally do better. So that is, you'll be passionate about it. So the work you're good at, the passion, and in the end of the day, you should get money for it. Like you should run your kitchen. You should be able to earn something so that it aligns, all these three aligns. So when these three things align, that is the best thing that can happen. So work in that direction. Have job clarity, work for it, develop those skills, go for it with a good attitude. So in the first 3 months, I'm suggesting that you go strengthen your communication skills, learn one core skill, get disciplined, start improving your attitude. In the next 6 months, apply these skills which you have picked up in some projects or do an internship, make your resumes good, start improving on your resumes. Some people want to work in the impact sector, that is the social sector, for some time to understand how empathy works or how things are, what is things happening in the social sector, and then they go on to a corporate job. That is also one area which you can think of. In the next 12 months, build depth and confidence, aim for role clarity. So, what I'm saying is, if you're prepared, now you're just joined, suppose you joined an undergrad degree or a postgrad degree in the first year. Right during the first year, end of first year, second year, you should have total clarity. So that because in the second year, you will start going for your summer internships. Even if you're in an online degree program, you can do internships during your second year or end of first year, summer internships. Third year, you can go in for longer internships. So if you have developed those skill sets, if you have developed those attributes, if you have role clarity, you can do meaningful internships and get on to the jobs. So this is what I was trying to tell you. So what do recruiters respect most? They respect honesty. What is honesty? Honesty means whatever they see your resume, they see your grades, they see you in person during the interview. Is there consistency? Is there honesty? Whatever you're written down, is it exactly what you are, or you're showing something different and on ground you're something else? So they respect honesty and they ensure that they throw certain questions where they can find out whether you're honest or not. So then, as I said, preparation is a silent way of showing respect. So that is what you should do. Be prepared for the interview, go properly dressed, properly groomed, so that you are prepared for it with the right attitude and with the role clarity you have, and that will you will have much higher chances of getting recruited. Show professionalism in your entire attitude. Be highly professional, be highly businesslike when it comes to your job, and that will have you'll have much better chances in that. And even if you've achieved a particular level, go in for continuous improvement, because today the market is changing very fast. You have to keep upskilling, and you need a lot of skills to be you know um, relevant in the market, relevant in your jobs, in your roles. Otherwise you'll become stagnant. So if you're stagnant, then you can't reach higher levels. So these are the things what the recruiters respect. So start building those attributes. So my final message to you all is, your degrees open doors for you, but if you want those doors to be kept open, then it is your skills, your attitude, your discipline, and you will keep getting more and more opportunities, keep adding better skills in life, and keep improving your attitude, become good citizens of this nation, and all the best to you. And anytime you have clarity, we'll be coming up with more such webinars. You will get clarity in your you can come and meet us in person, whoever got the opportunities, understand this. Thank you very much. So now I'll open the house for question and answers. If you have any doubts in my presentation, if you want to know, if you want to clarify certain things, you're most welcome to do that. But I would encourage, problem solving questions, not comparisons or something like that. It should be intelligent questions which are applicable to all and useful to all. So thank you very much. Jai Hind.
The pain of discipline is always less than the pain of regret. This phrase has always inspired me. So, with that, we move to the Q&A session. And the first question is, How to have role clarity when choosing a career?
I already brought out this answer for this question, how to have role clarity while choosing a career. So, if you want to understand where your passion lies and what you're good at, there are tools today like psychometric tests. You can even meet certain career guidance counselors who can inform you, and they have a set questions which will tell you as to what you're good at. So once you know what you're good at and where your passion lies, you can select those roles. Suppose you're good at debating, suppose you're good at content writing, if you've got strong skills in that, if that is the role you want to do it, so then you choose that particular role. And then you see what are the skills needed to excel in that role. So if it is, say, content writing, you have to have a good hold of your language. You have to know professional email writing. You should know professional writing for business like type of things. So there are tools, there are micro credentials, there are courses for these kind of improving your skills in that particular role. So go in for those skills, identify the role which you like, and then like if you're a people's person, if you want, if you know you can understand people, go in for HR or some these kind of roles. If you're good at interacting with people, go in for consultancy roles. If you're a back-end kind of person who are good at working on systems, go in for those kind of roles. So depend on what you're good at, where your passion lies, and as I told you, what you're good at, your passion and your work, all if these are aligned, you'll do well.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have received another question. So, when you say casual attitude, how can we show a better attitude during interview? Because we can only show discipline after recruitment.
Casual attitude, as I said, see, preparedness takes out casualness. So, if you come prepared for an interview, okay, being properly groomed, properly dressed is also a sign of good discipline. So, when you are going for an interview, ensure that you are formally dressed and you are punctual. You are not late for the interview, and then that you don't. When the recruiters ask you questions, they will ask you questions to check your attitude. Casual attitudes are the ones where you are blaming somebody else, you're blaming a team member, or you're blaming a system, or you're not showing respect for a particular uh, rule or authority, or you're belittling a small task. Like it may be a very small task. You'll say very casually, oh, this is too small a task to worry about. I am thinking of bigger task. So then the recruiter thinks that this person is belittling a small task. So his attitude is casual. But if you show the attitude of improving, even if you don't know the answer to it, if you ask questions and if you have a way of, finding a solution through it through some interventions, that is an attitude which you have to show, display. So, positive attitude is openness, open to getting out of your comfort zone, open to new ideas, improving with every mistake, and forgetting about words like I can't do this. You say, I will give it a better try. This is too hard for me. I will try one step at a time and reach the goal. So forget those negative words. Show a positive attitude. That is showing positiveness and not casualness.
Thank you, sir. Sir, we have another question. A lot of recruiters see personality during interview. Many feel underconfident because of their looks. What advice can you give those people, sir? Because even with good looks and marks, they lose confidence because of looks. What's your advice for them, sir?
That is a misnomer. Nobody is actually looking for good looks. So because unless it is you're getting into the film industry or something like that, where maybe looks matter, or you're going into some TV anchoring role or something like that, maybe a little bit of looks matter there, but not in every role you're looking at. So they are looking at your positive attitude. It is the aura which you show. It is the confidence with which you face interviews. So looks is totally secondary. That is, and Every human being looks good as far as I am concerned. There is no bad looking human being or a good looking human being. It is only your attitude you wear, the confidence you show, and the smile you wear, and the empathy you have for others. If you have respect for your fellow beings, if you have respect for animals, for plants, for life as such, you will project a look which is liked by everybody. And even when you utter your first word, people know whether you're a person to be trusted or not. So don't worry about the looks you have, or don't even have, you should be confident about yourself. Because when you see into a mirror, it is the best creation of God which you're seeing. So don't worry about that. So worry about developing those attributes which I spoke about: good discipline, positive attitude, and confidence. So never be underconfident. There are many people, nobody cares about looks anywhere. So this is a misnomer. So go confidently, prepare yourself, and go and attend these interviews.
Sir, we have another question. What kind of questions do recruiters ask to test attitude, not just skills?
As I told you, a lot of time they are looking for the attitude. So attitude is, I told you, whether it is positive attitude, whether you are trainable. That means whether you are looking for, whether do you have problem solving skills. Like they'll throw sometimes questions which you may not know answers. So don't try and give a, false answer, or try to answer every question they ask. You be honest with them and say that I don't know this answer, but I would like to learn this answer to this question. I will go back, learn it, and then I'll come with a solution. That is the attitude they like, because they like trainable people who are the least risky to their organizations. So that is the attitude they're looking at, and they're looking at growth mindset. Whether you're open to challenges, whether you're open to taking risks, whether you're open to new ideas. That's what they're looking at. So that's how you can show a good attitude, whether you're ready to work in a team. So whether you're going to give credit to the team or take all the credit yourself. Or if there's something goes wrong, whether you're blaming some system or someone else, or whether you're taking responsibility. That is the attitude. So they will throw some questions and ask you, Ki, what will you do in this situation? So you say, I take responsibility because I am the team leader, and I will look into the problem. I'll find what went wrong. I'll take solutions. I'll take corrective measures and find a solution. So that is the attitude you have to show. So that's how they look at attitude, and that's how you can show a positive attitude.
Thank you, sir. How can a candidate manage nervousness and anxiety during an interview?
Nervousness and anxiety comes when you're not prepared. So सबसे पहले, the first thing you should do is start preparing. If you know that you're going to face an interview, go to your friend and then sit in front of them, and try to answer those questions which somebody can ask. Speak in front of a mirror and look at yourself. Start building confidence yourself, and then come and whatever mistakes you're making, correct it. So, and end of the day, once you're prepared, then you should have a attitude of, okay, I have done my best. That means what should be your definition of success? It should be good intent and hard work. Forget about the outcome at that time. Outcomes will follow. So again, I'll repeat this: good intention and hard work is what you have to look at. That's how you will overcome nervousness. You will overcome anxiety. So preparation is, as I said, you a silent way of respecting other person, respecting the role which you're going for, respecting the interview. So go prepared. Your anxieties and nervousness will come down.
Thank you, sir. We have one last question. What specific stresses or behavioral questions do you use to break a candidate's rehearsed script and see their true character?
See, the HR people are highly experienced people. So recruiters who come, they can find out what is written in your resume, and like as you're going higher, one round after the other, They'll be looking at you during the group discussions, whether you have synergy in you or whether you're concentrating on one particular field and one particular track. All that they'll be able to. They will try to put some uncomfortable questions, or they'll give you situational questions. They'll say, okay, tell me one area where you failed and what did you do to improve upon that failure. So you have to have some things which an honest place where you actually failed and what you did. You can say, okay, I failed in this particular place. I took help of my friend. I asked him, okay, this is what happened with me, and he or she suggested that I have a elder who knows about how to give you an advice. You took advice from somebody, understood that particular thing, and then went about it. That is how you. So they will throw questions at you, which will put you into uncomfortableness. In the army and air force, they do it in a different way altogether, because it is a high pressure situation when you're getting into war. So you can't break down during those high pressure situations. So they will look at questions like, say, okay, I think you're not capable of this role, and what will you do if you don't get selected, or something. They can ask any of these questions. You say, sir, I'll take one step at a time. I'll take any failure which is there as a stepping stone to success. I'll learn from my mistakes, improve upon it, and come with greater rigor. So that's what you have to say.
Thank you, sir. With that, we come to the end of the Q&A session. Any questions regarding the online degree programs, feel free to contact the admission team. We'll be clearing all your doubts. As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to sincerely thank all of you for your time and active participation. We truly appreciate your engagement and enthusiasm you have shown throughout the session. Christ Online currently offers 7 online programs, including 2 bachelor's degrees and 5 master's degrees, all designed to prepare you for the real world by equipping you with essential professional and digital skills. For more details, we invite you to visit our website and follow us on our social media platforms. Thank you once again for being with us today. We hope the session was valuable and insightful, and we look forward to welcoming you again at Christ Online.